Alright, this is going to be a video on how atheism is a dead end. Alright, so atheism, what is atheism? Obviously, it's not very hard to understand what atheism is, right? Atheism is literally, I'll give you like a very quick definition of what atheism is. Atheism is basically, like it's kind of like it's like this type of understanding that there is no God and that is true, that there is no God and that's true, and there's no deities above us and stuff like this. That's what atheism is, right? That there are no deities at all involved in our reality, involved in our world, involved in our universe and stuff. There are no deities, there is no God, there is nothing like this, and etc. and stuff like that. That's my like quick like definition on atheism, right? Obviously there's more academic definitions on what atheism is and etc. and stuff, but I'm not going to waste your time with that in this video. Again, you know me, I like to kind of just dumb things down and make things quick and simple and easy to understand and etc. and stuff like that. Anyway, so but why am I saying that? But why am I saying that atheism is a dead end? What do I mean by this? Right, because this is under the topic of this video is about how atheism is a dead end. All right, so again, what is atheism? Atheism is like the understanding and the belief that there are no deities, there is no God or anything like that involved in our universe, world, reality, etc. That God is merely just like a figment of our imagination. That's what atheism is. That God is not real, there are no deities, and etc. and stuff like this. Why is this a problem? Why is atheism a dead end again? Because I believe that atheism, it causes the human being to be lost, because there are no deities, there is no God. And so, like, where do we get our morality from? Where do we get our purpose from? Where do we get all of these very important existential things from? And really, we don't get like if there are no deities in God, like we don't have any type of purpose or morality or values. It's never been atheists cannot they cannot prove that morals aren't just they're not just as imaginary as God is, right? Because atheists would argue that God's not real because we can't see or sense him or feel him in any meaningful way, and etc. And so he's not real in that type of way and stuff. Obviously, there's a lot more there are more sophisticated arguments that a lot of atheists use to disprove the existence of God. But a lot of atheists tend to use these types of arguments. The material, like they tend to use arguments that are like materialistic, like God he's not real because we can't sense him and stuff like this. But morals and stuff like that kind of follows the same logic, right? If God is not real because we can't sense him, morality is kind of just as illusion. It's just as imaginary and illusion. It's just as much of an illusion and imaginary and not real. I'm kind of mumbling with my words, but I'm trying to get at, right? Like, if there are no deities, if they're above us, if there is no God and stuff like this, the human being, we're just literally we are just accidents. We're purposeless creatures, right? We weren't made or anything like that. We don't have any type of values attached to us or given to us by anything. We don't have any purpose given to us by any higher creator, God, or something like that. We're literally just accidents. Atheism does kind of suggest that the human being is just an accident, right? Because we weren't created and made. We were just the blind. We're just products. We're products of a blind evolutionary process, right, etc. and stuff. We're products of like some kind of we're products of like a bunch of different types of accidents that weren't meaningful or purposeful or etc. and stuff like that. Like evolution and stuff like this. We're products of accidents and stuff. I don't know. It's very hard to term it. I don't know. But this is true, right? Now, if you're an atheist and stuff like that, right? If you're an atheist, like atheism, like it suggests that the human being is sort of like just an accident. We're just accidents. There's no creator God. We don't have any type of real purpose or values or meaning or anything like this. Because again, purpose, value, meanings, if you kind of really think about it, all of these things, they kind of do require a God involved in our reality and universe and etc. and stuff like that. Obviously, a lot of atheists would argue that you can make your own purposes and values and meanings. Obviously, you can do that, but that would be kind of arbitrary and kind of imaginary. But of course, a lot of atheists would say, well, God is imaginary, so it doesn't make any difference anyway. So I don't know. But atheism is a dead end. Why is this? Because I'm kind of all over the place. I'm mumbling. I want to kind of make things more concise and easy to understand now. But atheism is a dead end because if there are no deities above us, if there is no God, that means that the human being is an accident. We're just accidents. We're accidents. We're products of evolution and stuff like this. Where we were made and built up and crafted with some type of purpose and agenda. We just came into existence for literally no reason and stuff like this. That's what atheism kind of does suggest. Obviously, a lot of atheists would kind of get all contentious and argue against this and say that we're not technically just accidents. There was some type of process involved in our genesis and stuff. Just because there was no God doesn't mean that we're accidents. Obviously, yeah, but think about the details of atheism. Look at what atheism suggests. Look at what atheism properly look at what atheism suggests. It suggests that we are just accidents. How can you argue against this? If there is no God, then we came into existence for no reason. There was no intentions behind our genesis. We came from like primordial soup, basically, at the beginning of the universe, or at the beginning of the earth and stuff. All these, there was like a bunch of like different chaotic events happened, blah blah blah, and we came out of the primordial soup. We became fish creatures, blah blah blah. Then we turned into like weird lizard-like creatures and rat-like creatures. Then we turned into monkey-like creatures and caveman. And then the modern man and stuff like that. All of this is just, this happened and stuff. There was no God. This means that we're just accidents. Don't you get it? If you're like, atheism suggests that we're just accidents. Like, that's why atheism is a dead end. And if we're just accidents, that means we don't have any real purpose or values or meanings or anything like that. We don't have anything to strive for. We're just meaningless creatures and stuff. Atheism. This is what atheism suggests, and this is why atheism is a dead end. It's a philosophical dead end, because once you embrace atheism, once you embrace atheism, there's no reason why you should not also embrace nihilism. And a lot of atheists would get kind of contentious and disagree, but atheism goes hand in hand with nihilism, because again, atheism says we're just accidents. There are no deities, there is no God, we weren't purposely made or anything like that. We're just accidents, man. We're just accidents. We're just accidents and stuff like this. We weren't purposely made or anything. We're just accidents. If we're just accidents, there's no such thing as a purpose for the human being. We're just accidents, obviously. Can't you see that we're just accidents? And you can see this is like very nihilistic. This is why atheism goes hand in hand with nihilism. Really, if you're an atheist, there's no reason why you should not also kind of embrace nihilism. Of course, a lot of atheists are going to be very contentious, and they're going to disagree a lot with what I'm saying and stuff. And they're going to kind of make the argument that, well, you can just create your own purposes and values and meanings. You don't need some type of sky father or some type of imaginary God that doesn't exist anyway. Obviously, you can make up your own purposes, values and meanings, but that'll be arbitrary. And a lot of atheists will say, well, why does that matter and stuff? God is just as imaginary anyway. So what difference does it make if we just make up our own purposes and values and meanings? Obviously, a lot of this is subjective and there's no like clear answer, and I'm just giving you my opinion on this. But if the human being, we cannot just fabricate our own purposes and values and meanings. That's very absurd, and it kind of leads to a lot of problems as well. A lot of problems, like a lot of someone's purpose is to kill people. Oh, well, is he wrong? No. Oh yeah, you see what I mean? It gets very absurd very quickly. No, but atheism is a philosophical dead end. It is a dead end. Atheism will inevitably kind of it will deteriorate civilization in so many different ways. A lot of you atheists are going to get very contentious and not really agree with what I'm saying. But think about it. Atheism says again that we're just accidents, man. The human being is just an accident. And a lot of you atheists are going to be contentious, say, no, that's not true. We are products of natural selection and evolution and stuff like this, and the Big Bang and stuff. That's not. We're not just accidents. But if there was no God behind any of this, it was all just an accident. Right? The Big Bang was just an accident. There was no intentional reason for anything like that to happen. It was just an accident. That the natural selection, evolution, this was all just accidental. There's no we weren't purposely pushed in this type of direction, but because there was no God or anything like that. There's no conscious entity pushing things and pulling strings and stuff like this. It was all just an accident. There was no higher purpose and reason for anything to happen in our universe. It was all just an accident. Atheists again will kind of disagree with me and disagree with what I'm saying, but this is so true. Atheism suggests that the human being is just an accident. That is facts. That is facts, man. You cannot argue against that. The human being is just an accident. If you're an atheist, this is what you have to believe in, right? That the human being is just an accident. That's facts, man. You can't disagree with what I'm saying here. Damn, it's not as cold anymore outside. It's a lot more easy to film videos now because it's not as cold. Damn. No, but the human being is just an accident. That's what atheism suggests. A lot of atheists again are going to be contentious and disagreeing. They're going to say, no, the human being is not just an accident. Just because there is no God doesn't mean that we're accidents. Look at the Big Bang and the natural selection and evolution and stuff. This is not just an accident. We're not just accidents. Obviously, all of these things, the Big Bang, natural selection, evolution, obviously there was some type of there were some systems involved, but these things, there was no intentional higher purpose for these things to happen. There was no conscious entity that was making these things happen. These things just came into existence for no reason. The Big Bang happened for no reason. Literally, as an atheist, you cannot disagree with what I'm saying. The Big Bang happened for no reason. Literally, obviously, you would say that, well, no, there was some type of atomic processes or something like this. There was something that kind of jump started it and kicked things off, etc. No, but there was no conscious entity behind it. The Big Bang literally happened for no reason. We came into existence for literally no reason. That's what atheism seems to suggest, you know. Obviously, a lot of atheists are going to be contentious and disagree. A lot of atheists, again, are going to be contentious and disagree. And obviously, again, these are just my opinions. So I don't expect you to kind of take on board my opinions. I don't expect you to take on board my opinions on this, because again, these videos that I make, they're just my opinions. But in my opinion, again, I believe, you know, atheism, it suggests that the human being is just an accident, right? And I believe this because it's like, if there is no God, then there was no reason for anything in our universe to happen. Like, there was no reason that anything should have happened the way it did. You know, it's so insane. Obviously, a lot of atheists, again, they would just kind of bring up like arguments that are about, like, they would kind of say that, well, we're not just accidents. The Big Bang Theory, natural selection, evolution, we're not just accidents. There were some type of systems involved in our genesis and creation. Just because there was no God doesn't mean that we're accidents. But I believe that, you know, because there was no God and etc. and stuff like this, the Big Bang, it happened for no reason, man. I'm telling you, it happened for no reason. Natural selection, evolution, all of this stuff was just happening for no reason. There was no intentional reason for any of these things to happen or to occur. There was no purposeful reasons for these things to occur. Everything was just sort of emerging from chaos. And that's kind of, you know, atheism, again, suggests that we're just accidents and we don't have any higher values or purposes or meanings or spiritual values or etc. and stuff like this. And a lot of atheists are going to be contentious and disagree, but I mean, come on, atheism does suggest that we're just accidents, man. There was no conscious entity pulling the strings and putting things into motion, right? Everything was emerging from chaos. We're just accidents. And if this is true, obviously you can see why that would be sort of a big problem, right? This is why I believe that atheism is a dead end. It's a philosophical, spiritual, emotional, I guess, I don't know, as well, dead end. A lot of atheists tend to like become depressed and miserable with their lives. And, you know, look at Christopher Hitchens. That guy, Christopher Hitchens, was he was like a very popular atheist spokesperson, whatever, and stuff. But look at the guy's life, man. He was smoking, drinking. He was miserable and depressed. And he, I believe he died from cancer. I don't know if I'm too sure about that. But he had some type of complications because of his smoking and drinking habits. I don't know. And his life got cut short and stuff. I don't know. Look at the guy's life. He is an atheist. Obviously not. This is kind of like a lot of atheists would be kind of jump back at me and say, well, there was plenty of Christians and Muslims that drink alcohol and smoke and stuff like this. What are you getting at? I'm not saying that all atheists are depressed people, but, you know, atheism, it's very hard not to like kind of become somewhat emotionally put down. I don't know, because again, atheism, it suggests that the human being is just an accident. Right, if we're just accidents, there's no higher purpose or anything like that for us to find. It's just kind of very sad and depressing. And a lot of atheists will say we're not just accidents, you know, and the Big Bang and natural selection and evolution and stuff. Again, but if there was no God, man, all of these things happened for no reason. There was no conscious entity that made these things happen. These things, like the Big Bang, everything was just emerging from chaos, man. That's so, and that we're just accidents. Yo. We're just accidents, man. Chilly as we're just accidents. And a lot of atheists would just kind of agree with what I'm saying, that we are just accidents, but we can still give ourselves our own purposes and values and meanings. Of course, there's no clear answer to this. I'm just giving you my opinion on this. But I believe that we cannot just fabricate our own purposes and values and meanings. That's very absurd. That leads to a lot of different problems, man. Again, what if someone's purpose is to kill people? Is he wrong? No, because there is no objective yardstick anymore. We can just make our own purposes and values and meanings. You see what I'm getting at? This leads to a lot of absurdity and different problems. You know, atheism is a dead end. It's a philosophical dead end. It's a spiritual dead end. Once you become an atheist, really, there's nothing stopping you from becoming a nihilist as well, you know, because, you know, atheism says that that there is no God, there are no deities above us, so, you know, we don't have any type of purpose given to us by anything. Any purpose or values or meanings given to us by anything. We're just meaningless creatures, man. We're just accidents. You know, this is what I believe. You know, again, atheism, it is a philosophical, spiritual dead end. Once you become an atheist, there's literally no reason why you should not also embrace nihilism, why you should not also become a nihilist. Because I believe that atheism and nihilism, they go hand in hand. A lot of atheists are going to be contentious and disagree, but I mean, come on, man. The atheism literally says that we're just accidents. There is no God, nothing. Everything happened for no reason. Yo, chill out, man. Atheism, literally, it suggests that we're just accidents, man. I'm telling you, this is why, again, I believe that atheism, it's a dead end. It's a philosophical, spiritual dead end. Once you become an atheist, there's no reason why you should not also become like a nihilist, embrace nihilism. Obviously, atheists, a lot of atheists will say, you don't need to be a nihilist. You can just make your own purposes and values and meanings. That, but that's kind of still somewhat absurd, because it's all arbitrary and fabricated and stuff like this. The human being cannot just fabricate his own purposes and values and meanings. That's very absurd. A lot of atheists again are going to disagree and stuff like that. But what if someone's purpose is to kill people? Is that guy wrong? No, he isn't, because you can just fabricate your own purposes and values and meanings. See what I mean? Like, nihilism, so tricky, man. Atheism, it literally takes you towards nihilism. That's why I believe that atheism, it's a philosophical, spiritual dead end. It takes you down the road towards nihilism. It leads you towards nihilism. Atheism again suggests that we're just accidents, man. The human being is an accident. Obviously a lot, again, atheists will say that, oh no, the Big Bang, natural selection, blah blah blah, this and that, and evolution and stuff. Now, we're not just accidents. There were systems and stuff involved in our genesis, but there was no God behind any of this. There was no conscious creature or entity behind any of this. So we technically, all of these things, the Big Bang, natural selection, stuff like this, all of this happened for no reason, because there was no entity behind it. Obviously, a lot of atheists are going to disagree, and they're going to say that, well, no, it didn't happen for no reason. There was like physics involved and stuff like this, and there was reasons behind why the Big Bang occurred. Just because there was no God doesn't mean that it was just for no reason. The reasons, if there was no God that jump-started the universe, everything is just, it all emerged from chaos. You have to agree with me on that. If you're an atheist, if there was no God, everything emerged from chaos. This is, again, atheism. It takes you down the road towards nihilism. It takes you down the road towards nihilism. This is why atheism, again, is a philosophical, spiritual, emotional, why am I saying emotional? I mean, it's a philosophical and spiritual dead end, and also an emotional dead end, because I believe once you embrace atheism, you're going to be very depressed and sad, because they're the human beings, just an accident. There's no God, no higher purpose. How can you not be miserable and depressed if you're an atheist? It's literally impossible. Obviously, a lot of atheists, again, disagree and become contentious and stuff, and they'll kind of say that, well, I'm an atheist, or I'm not depressed. Obviously, I'm just, maybe making blanket statements is kind of stupid on my part as well, so I'm kind of, but what I'm trying to get at, man, I swear, it's atheism. It is a dead end. It's a spiritual dead end. It leads you towards nihilism. It makes you become depressed and miserable. Look at Christopher Hitchens. Look at all of these other big atheists. They become very, like, depressed and sad and stuff like that, inevitably. Obviously, a lot of you are going to be contentious and disagree. A lot of atheists are going to be contentious and disagree, but I don't know. Again, these are just my opinions. I don't expect you to kind of like see what I'm saying as like the ultimate truth. I don't expect you to see what I'm saying as the ultimate truth. Yo, chill, man. These are just my opinions. Oh, man, chill. I don't expect you to kind of take on board everything I'm saying as the ultimate truth. You alright, yo? I don't expect you to see, like, not to see, but you have to take on board everything I'm saying as the ultimate truth. You have to have your own opinions. Again, these aren't just my opinions, and I do expect you to have your own opinions as well on this. But in my opinion, I believe that atheism it's a philosophical, spiritual dead end. It takes you towards nihilism. Atheism makes you depressed and miserable. Obviously, that's just my opinion. Obviously, a lot of atheists are going to be contentious and disagree, and a lot of other people are going to be contentious and disagree. And again, these are just my opinions. I don't expect you to like take on board everything I have to say as the ultimate truth. But it's just my opinion. I do believe that atheism is a philosophical and spiritual dead end. I believe that atheism will make you miserable and depressed and sad and stuff like this. Because, come on, the atheism, it suggests that the human being is just an accident, man. There's no God or anything. Everything just emerged from chaos. Yo, chill, man. Chill, man. Everything just emerged from chaos. Damn, man. It's getting cold as hell. It's getting cold as hell. Anyway. These are, again, atheism. Atheism is a dead end. It's a philosophical, spiritual dead end. It will make you become depressed and miserable. Christopher Hitchens, man, he was like a very big spokesperson for atheism. Look at his life, man. He was so sad and miserable and depressed. That's why he was drinking alcohol and smoking cigarettes and stuff like that. You know, it's not good, man. Obviously, a lot of you atheists are going to be contentious and disagree, but I don't know. Again, these are just my opinions. Again, I don't expect you to take on board everything I have to say as the ultimate truth. You gotta, I guess, form your own opinions, but I don't know. Damn, it's so cold, man. Damn, it's so cold. So cold out here, man, in England anyway. Anyway, atheism, it's a philosophical, spiritual dead end. It leads you towards nihilism. Atheism says that the human being is just an accident. We're just accidents. Everything emerged from chaos, basically. That's so sad. That's very sad. Everything just emerged from chaos. We don't have any higher purpose or values or meanings or anything like that. Everything just emerged from chaos. Everything just emerged from chaos. That's very sad and depressing. It's very sad and depressing. Everything just emerged from chaos. The human being is an accident. There's no higher purpose for us to find. It's all meaningless. That's so sad and depressing, man. And that's atheism for you. And of course, a lot of atheists are going to be contentious and disagree. And I keep bringing this up, but you know, come on, man. Atheism is a dead end. It's a philosophical, spiritual dead end. Once you become an atheist, like, you're going to become very depressed and miserable. Like, there's nothing. Also, you're gonna be led towards nihilism. Like, well, if you're very bright, like, a lot of atheists are somewhat kind of stupid. They don't really see the philosophical. They don't really understand the philosophical implications of atheism. What do I mean by philosophical implications? Like, what does atheism suggest? It suggests that we're accidents. You know, we don't have any higher purpose or values or meanings. Everything just emerged from chaos. You know, that's kind of very sad and depressing. All of this seems to suggest that we're just accidents. You know, it's very, that's kind of emotionally devastating. I don't know. It's cold as hell. It's chilly, man. Can't even feel my hands properly. Oh. Anyway, atheism is a dead end. It's a philosophical, spiritual, emotional, I guess, I don't know, dead end. It leads you towards nihilism. So it's so sad to see a lot of atheists not really kind of understand this. I don't know. Obviously, a lot of atheists see me as being the idiot. I'm the idiot, not them, because, you know, they don't believe in God. They don't believe in fairy tales. I don't know. So I'm the idiot. I don't know. Obviously, these are just my opinions, and obviously, there's like no clear answer to any of what I'm saying. But you know, like, again, these are just my opinions. That's because a lot of people are going to be contentious and disagree, but you know, these are just my opinions. Again, I believe atheism is a philosophical, spiritual dead end. It leads you again towards nihilism. Atheism says that the human being is just an accident. If we're just accidents, you know, morality and stuff, ethics, all of these things, like purposes and meanings and values, all this is just nonsense. If we're just accidents, if everything just emerged from chaos, of course, a lot of people are going to disagree. I keep saying that. I should stop saying that now. I don't know. Yeah, but atheism, you know, it is a dead end. It's a philosophical, spiritual dead end, and it will make you emotionally depressed and sad and stuff like that. Atheism will kind of make you become depressed and miserable. Think about Christopher Hitchens. He was like a very big spokesperson for atheism, but he was depressed and sad, and he was like drinking alcohol and smoking cigarettes and stuff like this. Why did he do that? Think about it. think about it. And of course, a lot of atheists, they're going to say that, well, there are plenty of atheists that aren't depressed and sad and stuff like that. Obviously, I'm not saying that. I'm not going to be stupid and make these types of blanket statements and stuff like that and say that all atheists are sad and depressed, or that all atheists are like this and that and stuff. I'm not going to be like that in this video. But there are very prominent atheists that tend to be depressed and sad, and that's kind of weird, man. It's cold as hell. It's chilly, man. Can't even feel my hands properly. It's cold as hell and it's chilly. What was I getting? I kind of lost track of what I was saying and thinking about. You know, atheism is a dead end. It's a philosophical, spiritual dead end. It will lead you down the path of nihilism. Atheism and nihilism, you know, atheism goes hand in hand with nihilism. This is true. I actually made a video about this a couple months ago now. You know, atheism goes hand in hand with nihilism. Again, atheism says that the human being is just an accident, right? Because if there is no God, then everything just emerged from chaos. There was no conscious entity that was pulling the strings and putting things into motion. There's no intentional reason for anything to have happened the way it did. In our universe, everything was just emerging from chaos. This is why atheism suggests that the human being is just an accident. And you know, this is very nihilistic. This is why atheism goes hand in hand with nihilism. Really, I mean, again, once you become an atheist, there's no reason why you should not also become a nihilist. Why you should not also embrace nihilism. And a lot of atheists will say, well, you can fabricate your own meanings and values and purposes and stuff like this. Obviously, you can do that, but you know, there's no reason why you should not become a nihilist as well. Like, even like a lot of nihilists, they will tell you that you can fabricate your own meanings and purposes and values, right? It's not too different even if there's no objectivity, you can still fabricate your own purposes and values and meanings. A lot of nihilists would also say this, just like the atheists. You know, atheism, like, once you become an atheist, there's no reason why you should not also kind of somewhat embrace nihilism, somewhat kind of also accept nihilism and stuff like that. Again, this is just my opinion on this. You know, I believe atheism, it goes hand in hand with nihilism. It takes you towards nihilism. I believe atheism is a philosophical and spiritual dead end. Again, because atheism leads you towards nihilism. There's literally no way that atheism cannot lead you towards nihilism. Think about it. If there is no God, we're just accidents. Everything emerged from chaos. There was no reason for anything to have happened the way it did. You know, atheism, this is why it will take you down the road of nihilism. Oh, shoot, man, it's so cold, man, I swear. It's so cold. It's so cold, man. I can't even feel my hands. Damn, it's so cold, man. It's so cold, man. Can't even feel my hands. Can't even feel my hands, man. It's so cold. The wind, man, it blows so hard in England. I don't know. Oh, it's so cold, man. But atheism, it will take you down the road of nihilism. Yo, cover your mouth, man. Cover your mouth, man. Atheism, it will take you down the road towards nihilism. It will take you down the road towards nihilism and stuff like that. It will take you down the road towards nihilism and stuff like that. It will take you down the road towards nihilism. That's why atheism is a dead end. It's a philosophical, spiritual dead end. Damn, it's cold as hell, man. I'm telling you. Out here in England, man, I'm telling you. I can't even feel my hands properly. No, atheism is a dead end. It's a philosophical, spiritual, emotional dead end. It will take you down the road towards nihilism. Again, atheism says that the human being is just an accident. Everything just emerged from chaos. There was no reason for anything to have occurred and happened the way it did in our history and stuff, because there was no conscious entity pulling the strings and stuff. You know, it's so sad for me to see like so many different atheists. They're kind of delusional and stuff. They believe that, you know, atheism, it will kind of help the world become a better place and etc. and stuff. They don't see like how atheism is kind of like it's again a Trojan horse. I actually said this a couple months ago in another video, but you know, atheism sort of is a Trojan horse for nihilism. What is a Trojan horse? You know, the Trojan horse is like this type of like wooden horse, and there's like a hidden thing inside of it. You know, in this case, like atheism, the hidden thing inside of atheism is nihilism, because atheism sort of is a Trojan horse for nihilism, and a lot of atheists can't really seem to understand this and stuff. It's kind of it's very sad, in my opinion, to see this. A lot of atheists are so delusional, and they believe that, you know, if everyone was to become like an atheist, everything will just be better. You know, that's so stupid, because atheism is a Trojan horse for nihilism. You know, can you not see how that would be a problem if everyone started to become an atheist? Everyone, oh, there's no God, we could just make up our own rules. Do you see how that would be a problem? Can you see how that would not be a problem? It's kind of, anyway, I don't know. Oh, it's so chilly, man. I can't even feel my hands. Makes it so hard to talk. The wind, man. If you're in the UK, man, you know what I'm talking about. The wind, it hits you so hard. Atheism is a dead end, a philosophical, spiritual dead end, and that will lead you towards nihilism. That will take you and lead you towards nihilism. Atheism is a Trojan horse for nihilism. It's so it's very somewhat. It's kind of sad for me to see so many different atheists. Again, they're delusional morons. They cannot see see the philosophical kind of ramifications of atheism. How atheism's going to spread nihilism. You know, because no God, so you can make your own rules. There's no, because you know we're just accidents. Everything emerged from chaos. Why not do anything you want? You know, it's kind of. Damn, it's so sad for me to see so many different people kind of get led down the wrong path. I don't know, but their choices, though. I guess again, these are just my opinions and stuff like that. These are just my opinions and stuff like that. Again, these are just my opinions. You don't have to kind of take on board everything I have to say. But hopefully I'm making you think a little bit about this, man. Hopefully I'm helping you think more about this in a proper way. Again, atheism is it's a dead end. It's a philosophical, spiritual dead end. It will lead you towards nihilism. It will lead you and take you towards nihilism. There's no two ways about this. Once you become an atheist, there's no reason why you should not also embrace nihilism and become a nihilist as well. Again, atheism suggests that the human being were just accidents. Everything emerged from chaos, and there was no conscious entity that was behind anything, pulling the strings and putting things into motion. It's very sad, man. I see a lot of atheists get taken down the wrong path, but it's their choice, and these are just my opinions. I don't expect you to fully listen to everything I'm saying, and to accept everything I'm saying. Obviously, a lot of you are going to be contentious. A lot of atheists are going to be contentious and disagree and stuff. And I expect that. I don't expect you to fully take on board everything I have to say as the ultimate truth. But again, hopefully I'm just kind of helping you think a little bit more about this. Again, you know, atheism sort of, in my opinion, it is a dead end. It's a philosophical, spiritual dead end. It will lead you and take you towards nihilism. Once you become an atheist, there's no reason why you should not also become a nihilist. Oh, yo, chill, man. Yeah. Damn, it's chilly as hell here in England. Atheism. What is the definition of? I guess obviously there's the academic definition of atheism. It's going to be very complex, but I'll give you a quick definition of atheism. Atheism is like that there are no deities, there's no God above us and stuff. What does this mean? This means that, you know, there's nothing like that put things into motion. There's no rule maker. You know what I mean? Everything's just kind of up for grabs. If you get it, if you get what I'm saying, you know. This was, you know, atheism. This is why atheism kind of makes things like morality, ethics, again, purposes, meanings, and values, stuff like this, seem kind of absurd and kind of ultimately meaningless and just imaginary as well and stuff, and arbitrary. You know, because again, no God, no rule maker. Everything's just up for grabs for us human beings. We can just do whatever we want. I don't know. You can see why that would be a problem as well, right? You can see why atheism will lead to a lot of different problems if it becomes more widespread and normalized. Damn. again, a lot of you are going to be contentious and disagree, and obviously I encourage you to have your own opinions on this. I don't expect you to just to fully listen to what I have to say and to take on board everything I have to say and stuff, and to just fully accept what I have to say as the ultimate truth. You probably are going to be contentious and have your own opinions. Damn, it's cold as hell, man. I'm chilly. It's chilly, man. But you know, in my opinion, atheism is a dead end. It's a philosophical, spiritual dead end. It will lead you towards nihilism. It's very, which is kind of, And a lot of atheists would just say, well, that's just kind of, just because these things are going to happen doesn't mean that atheism isn't true. A lot of atheists, they're going to say that, well, I'm an atheist just because I believe that there is no God. There's no good evidence to support the existence of God. And obviously, I'm not saying that, you know, atheism is wrong, because maybe the unfortunate reality is that there is no God and that we're just accidents and everything emerged from chaos and we don't have any higher purpose to find. Maybe that's just like the sad reality. But I don't know. Yeah, this is just my opinion. I don't expect you to take on board everything I have to say as the ultimate truth. Have your own opinions. It's natural to be contentious and stuff like this. But again, atheism is a dead end. It's a philosophical, spiritual dead end. It will take and lead you towards the path of nihilism and stuff. It will make you depressed and miserable. But you know, ultimately, it's up to you all to think about this and kind of make your own choices and decisions and stuff. I'm just giving you my opinions on this. No God, no rule maker. Everything's just up for grabs. The human being can do whatever he wants. You know, this is what atheism kind of says and stuff, and this is what atheism means. You know, it's kind of very. You can see why this is going to be a problem. You can see why this is going to create a lot of different problems in our world and stuff. But you know, these are just my opinions on this. I encourage you to have your own opinions on this. It's okay to be contentious and stuff, to be contentious and to disagree with what I'm saying. And I'm expecting that a lot of you are going to be contentious and disagree with what I'm saying. It's cold. It's okay to be contentious and to disagree and stuff like that. Just hopefully I'm helping you think about this in a more proper way. I don't know. It's cold, man. I'm telling you out here. Yeah, but atheism is a dead end. It's a philosophical, spiritual dead end. It will take you and lead you towards the path of nihilism, in my opinion. You got to really, hopefully, think about this. Hopefully, think about this in a very proper, concise way. In a proper way, not concise. I'm being stupid with my words now because, I don't know. Just really think about what I'm saying here, what I've said in this video and stuff. Again, atheism is a Trojan horse for nihilism. Atheism says that the human being is just an accident. We're just accidents. Everything emerged from chaos. There's no reason that anything happened the way it did. We're just accidents. Everything just emerged from chaos. If this is true, you know, that's very, you can see all the different problems that are going to happen and come from this. I don't know. You can see how atheism, again, it is a Trojan horse for nihilism, and it will lead you towards nihilism. It will make you sad and depressed. Atheism goes hand in hand with nihilism. I stressed this in another video I made a couple months ago, which I advise you to check out. But yeah, atheism is a dead end. It's a philosophical, spiritual dead end. It's a Trojan horse for nihilism. Atheism says that the human being is just an accident. We're just accidents. That everything emerged from chaos. That there is no God, so no rule maker. So everything's just up for grabs, and we can make our own rules and stuff, and you know, etc. and stuff like this. You can see why that is such a problem, such a massive, big, colossal. This is a problem. This is such a big problem. Like, you can see how atheism is going to create all of these different issues and stuff and problems and stuff for the human being. But you know, a lot of atheists are just going to kind of not really care too much about this, and they're just going to kind of argue against what I'm saying anyway and be contentious. I don't know. Again, these are just my opinions. I don't know. But you know, in my opinion, atheism is a dead end. It's a philosophical, spiritual dead end. It will take you and lead you down the path of nihilism. atheism, again, is a Trojan horse for nihilism. I advise you to check out my other videos on atheism on my YouTube channel. Hopefully this made you think a little bit more about things. I don't know. Hopefully you do think about this in a more serious way on your own. Again, these are just my opinions. I do encourage you to inform your own opinions on this. I don't know. Yeah, but just carefully think about everything I've said in this video.